Good morning, everyone. So today we're at a Hyundai. There we go. It's an i20 and it's a 2016 model. So the complaint with this one is the lady broke down and we believe the clutch is gone. Now I was looking on the forums, this seems to be a common problem with these 2016 i20 models, and trying to source a clutch is very difficult. So I'll let Roddy jump in and we'll let you hear what it does, but there's a terrible vibration coming off the clutch, so I'll let you hear this. There we go. That's it. So that's fine, Roddy. So it's a bit like a woodpecker that's in there when you try to get first gear or third gear. So we've not been into the box yet, but Roddy's got... What's your theory, Roddy?
I think it's the plates.
He thinks the pressure plate? Pressure plate is... So the man's went on record, he's put his neck on the line, so here we go. Let's strip this thing down.
What do you think, Sandy?
Roddy, I haven't a clue, son, you know that. So first thing is remove the bonnet, and it's 4 12mm bolts. These are 12mm. You can see I tried to put a 13 on. It's stuck in the thing, so that gives you plenty of access to the bay. Next point is remove the battery. 10mm on the negative, 10mm on the positive, and there's the retaining bolt for holding the battery within the tray, and that's a 12mm bolt. So then we'll remove the tray, and that looks like 12mm again. So I've removed 1, 2, 3 12mm bolts. I think I'll have to remove the air filter ducting. So I've disconnected that one there, that's a 10mm, and I think there's a 10mm there, there's a 10mm down the bottom there. Let's see if we can remove this out of the way. So I took the top off the air filter and just laid that to the side, and it was right enough. There's a couple of quick connects up the top there you've got to take off, and then it's the bolts at the bottom, and then that just lifts out as so. So that's a bit that attaches into there, so you see we've got a good view of the clutch. Now, I was reading that these master cylinders can be a problem as well, but, sorry, the slave cylinder, this chappy here, but I don't think that's the case in our one. But at least, if it is a problem, it's external and we can replace that after we've done the box. So there's the tray, it's 1, 2, 3 12mm bolts, and there's a 10mm bolt there, a 10mm bolt there, and there's this little one down the back here. Yeah, there's a 12mm, so that should lift out at that. There we go. There's that 12mm bolt there. Now, if my colleagues would stop talking and maybe get on with the work. Right, gearbox oil, so that was a 17mm nut for the drain plug. So it's that grey stuff again. Take the drive shaft nut off. Now we think it's a 32, but you just open up the little bit there and then we'll whack on. See, this is 1 1/4 AF, so we reckon that translates to maybe 34, don't know. Put that on, whack it off. There we go. Take out the bottom ball joints for the control arm, so it's a 21-inch, and the trouble arises if the thing starts spinning. We're alright then, we're alright, we're alright. Right, we'll wire in about that. So I've had to jack this. It's still turning on here, is it not bad? Eh?
It's okay now.
So I had to jack this to keep the pressure on the bottom ball joint to stop it turning.
Still turning.
Still turning. Sure. The jack, it's still turning, so it'll be the nylock within that nut. So we're just going to burn that off. We stupidly put some WD-40 on it and it starts burning first. So once you burn the nylock off, it'll come off no bother. We've removed the pins from the gear selector rod, so that's simply open them up. That should pop out. Oh dear. Easier said than done. So there's one there, and there's one down the side here. And after we do that, we can release the 3 nuts. I think there's 3 of them. They look like 12mm. They hold the actual gear mechanism onto the box, so we remove them and this just lifts up. There's the bolts out the gear shift mechanism, so they're all red at the top and they're all exactly the same length, so it's good. We can then lift this guy back, or once we get in there we can push him away. So he's now loose, as you can see, so that's alright. So that must be, is that the reversing switch? And I think on the Hyundais the neutral switch is at the front, so we'll disconnect that as well. I've disconnected the wiring loom using a cat's claw. You can see that underneath there, so that lifts up. Now we've got a plate down the back here. There's 2 12mm bolts that will hold this on, so I think I'm just going to take that right off, and that leaves us free. These 2 brackets out, I don't think this top one really needs to come out, but the bottom one does, because he attaches, oh, there he is there. He attaches to the wiring harness, so he's out anyway. And I've left the bolts 1, 2 back in the box. So let's now attack the sleeve cylinder. The cylinder is held in by 2 12mm bolts. You can just leave it hanging there. That's uno. Actually, on this sleeve cylinder, you only have to take out the top 2 bolts. They're which hold it to the gearbox, and now this, the red one, that actually just holds that bracket to the sleeve cylinder, so that guy can remain in. So, and just leave it dangling there, so that should be fine. Remove the earth strap, 12mm, and then we'll just put that to the side, but we'll leave the bolt back in the box. No point in there. No. We removed the 2 drive shafts, so we just used that bar there. You get in between the edge of the drive shaft and the gearbox and just pop it out. We like to take the 2 drive shafts out. A wee bit more room. And then we're attacking these bolts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And these are 14mm bolts, and then there's a couple of 17mm bolts up the top, so we're going to split that. The bottom gearbox mount, so these are 14mm, and I believe this one's a 17mm. So that's the bottom gearbox mount. There you go, what did I say they were? 12mm, 14mm and 17, so I just popped them back in, and then we'll go and do the 17mm at the top, try and break this box. The driver's side here in the UK, you can see there's a plate. Now that has to be removed, so they think there's a 14mm bolt just here and another one just up the top there, so we have to get to that, because you can see there's another gearbox bolt up there, so I'll see if I can get it for the top. Enough, you get one of the bolts for the top and the other one just a slight extension. There we go. Buzz that one off. Let's see. Put our hand up. There we go. There's that bracket there we need off. As we started to remove the bolts, so the tall one is right up the back, and the rest of the 3 short ones, they then face the driver's side here in the UK. So I'll show you where the tall one goes. The long one, that goes in there. That's the longer one. You can see in there, there's the flywheel pickup. So there's one short one in there, one in there, and one in there. So that's the 4 bolts. So long one, normal, normal, normal. In there, and then we'll go and do the ones here at the other side, so that one there, another one up there, and then the 2 17mm, and I'm hoping that the starter motor comes away with that. So there's, let me see, there's one of the 17mm bolts there, take that one out, And there's the other 17mm bolt there. That one out. So the rest are 14 and 14. That goes to the starter motor, and I'll take you down and show you the length of these ones going into the starter motor. So there's my bolts there. So starting at the driver's side point. So that's 1, and then 1, 2, and then I put 1 back in. That's number 3. So that's up there. This is my last bolt that I'm going to take out for the box. So my next one is in there, and the one after that goes into the starter motor. So this is a long one. So that's that there. Starter motor, then it's the 2 17mm bolts at the top. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bolts holding this box on. And leave that one to you're ready to remove the box. Or when Roddy's back with the pieces. Or we actually like the wraps today. We've made up our own lifting eye onto the gearbox selector mount. See that there? We've made that ourselves, and we're using our hoist. And we've now just got 4 14mm bolts. See, there's one under there. We'll go out, remove the rest. And so these should come out nice. But word of warning, do them by hand, because if you start and it feels tight coming out, you're stripping them. So I've started them off and they feel all good, so we'll work them out. So they're 12mm bolts. And the first thing we noticed, the smell of burning. Bad.
Dust coming out there.
Oh, it's fell to bits. Oh, look at the state of that. Oh dear, I'm not. It's collapsed.
It's collapsed.
There's the bolts that come out of it. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's the little ones. 12mm. I think this is going to be the worst one we've ever seen. Right.
And the dowels. Top dowel.
Is it? There you go.
Corner.
There we go.
The rust.
Aye. But the pressure plate like that's going as well. Eh? It's scored. Aye. Right. Here's a word of warning: if you're going to get this clutch from Hyundai,
See,
oh aye.
didn't be a meter the knee.
Oh, that's why it's fell a bit here.
There's none left in it. That's why it's wobbling.
Ah, right.
It's hitting that and hitting that, 2 different levels.
Ah, right.
See, that is all the way around.
So it is.
Yeah.
That's gone.
That's a way.
I was going to say, if you're getting it for Hyundai, they sell it as separates. So I'm sure that bit was, what was that, 60 quid?
60.
Then that bit was £80, and then the release bearing was £30, all plus VAT. So there it is, 02710, and then this one is, oh, we'll see the new one when it arrives. Well, fingers crossed it's going to arrive. It's not here yet.
Yeah.
But seemingly these are bad clutches. So you can't, this bit is on back order, but there's no point going in there and just replacing that, because look at that. Used to could do that in old days. I had to go to the main dealers, so the number is 02730 for the friction plate, and there's the pressure plate. Its number is 2710, and the release bearing ready. In the box, no, good. Well, here it's under here. There's a release bearing there. There we go. So quite the dearest clutch we've ever came across. So see, it's Hyundai Kia. So there's the thickness of that clutch plate, the new one. Then we'll come. That is half the thickness. Right, let's get it on. That's already put the release bearing back together. So
You better open up like that. Push that out.
oh, like the little clips. All right.
Push it back in the hole.
Oh, there we go. Just at the side a bit there. Right.
Slide it in.
Plop it back in the box.
That's it. Grease it up.
Right. Let's grease it up.
Grease it up. Just a wee bit. slide. And yeah, that's what
Bit
it
dry.
sticks. That's what it sticks in there.
Is it? Right, right.
Aye. That pin sometimes kind of get dries in there.
Right.
Okay. Put that like that. And there first.
Retract that out a wee bit.
I'll shove it in and out.
Oh, aye. Alright. The business. Oh, nice.
See, push. And there.
That's nice. No movement.
That's it. Yeah.
That's fine. That's it in.
There's a wee punch hole there.
Alright. Just line it up.
Just line it up. Get in there. That's it there. There's a hole in there. There's that about right there.
What size of spanner is that already? 10.
14.
14 mil. Oh, so it's.
That's it.
Couldn't see it. And what's that wee pin?
That's a deal with the box sample.
Oh, right.
It's came out.
Right.
We'll find it now. So that mark and that mark should be spot on there.
So that dowel that was lying in the box came out of there. Oh, there's a bit of the clutch there. So it is. So I'll just chop that in a little go. This is what they call a Gillespie hammer. You just use N. Tap that one. There we go. Agree with it already?
That's it.
Right, line up the clutch, get it on.
Get it.
With our super duper £10 draper tool.
Aye. It was a good tonight.
So no so good.
I'll bring this off a bit.
It's catching.
Catching that. Right, just done the catch.
There we go. So we're looking for an even perimeter. So you can see we've got a good gap there, but the other side, zero. So we just need to try and manipulate it into the centre. That's no bad. Go with that then, my man. There we go.
Take that out. It's not bad.
So
That piece shuffly bit, yeah.
I know. Roddy's run his magic eye over it, so that'll do me if it does. The perimeter bolts for the pressure plate clutch, and we're only going to put this to number 1. Please do not over tighten these things. Finish them off behind. That's it. That's it. You better just to go round them. That's it. Nice.
Right, I'll do
Then we'll do the rest behind. And we're just finally nipping these things up behind. And what we'll do at the end, I'll just hold the flywheel and Roddy will just give it the final nip.